The striking colors of my brain and the intensity of differences that my psyche goes through is what makes me take a pause from everything around me, and really assess what this inside world is up to. Reality is, in general terms, described as one's interaction with the outside world. But is that really it? Or is it just what goes on inside? The answer to that isn't one dimensional. In fact, there's not even a point to find out that one answer. Maybe just holding on to a certain way of an approaching nature is enough, is indeed enough to carry one towards their self. So, with due randomness or by will, if we just go with what flows inside us, effortlessly and unconsciously, we may enter states of mind that are almost independent of the influence of the external world. Not just the external world, but our internal world too. All our morals, principles, and perhaps prejudices dissolve down and disappear. That moment we're finally free, free of all that binds and directs our conscience. Now, that binding isn't a bad thing, just that at times, to feel the raw essence of yourself, you gotta let those go. Regardless of being conscious that something is wrong, you continue, for once you have it. Feel what you haven't felt yet. All this takes a certain framework, which also has a very subjective, individual process to develop. But if it's done and done good, one can properly enter the realms where they otherwise would be scared to. Crucial it is to estimate the aftermath of that experience, and so is the planning to fix that, to get back to normality. I am a very good man. In fact, I think I'm one of the nicest. There's this extravaganza of good in me. I want everyone to be their best, to smile, to laugh, and genuinely be at peace in their lives. But at the same time, there is a residence of the contradiction of that very realm in my being. At times, I'm up for a different experience, some other path than the one I usually walk on. It may be out of the purpose of leisure or the creation of art itself. Nonetheless, it is highly engaging, highly due to the constant effort of the back of the subconscious trying to hold that little rope of my true self. Deep engagement and rather dystopian state of mind shouldn't drown my sanity into it, and thus, suddenly the screams, the agony, the tears on the face of the submissive, the suffering, the pleading, makes me smile. Sweet screeches, they make me chuckle. Brutality makes me blush as I look with no guilt at that very same face, the face of fear. The sorrow becomes the nectar I feed on, being the obvious butterfly that I am. Well, and gives me butterflies, beating the shit out of someone who's already so fragile, blackmailing the one who can't even afford the most basic for his family of four, putting selfish desires over the lives of millions. I love it. No matter how much science develops to break down the approach of criminal psychology, humans are so interesting that there can never be any rules, conclusively. A dystopian, demonic state of mind is what is capable to deeply affect and have severe repercussions on individuals. A case which a lot of actors, artists recall. Going away from one's originality isn't always convenient, especially when the character you're playing is beyond inhuman. But what also stands out is the fact that even fiction is derived from reality itself. Fiction, defined as imaginary, comes out of human experiences only, nothing else. Imagination derives from the vision of an individual, which is shaped by the numerous energies and entities they have ever received or comprehended. And in terms of heinousness, oftentimes history has proven that real humans are way worse than the worst most can imagine, than fiction can ever imagine. That's another story that it's out of low mental development, compassion, sensitivity, or something else. What doesn't change is the fact that it exists. Manipulation, defamation, hypnosis, extortion, and physical and psychological torture. It has a distinct charm to it. And there will always stand a surprise, something one has never seen before. The ocean of vastness of differences in individuality will forever be infinite. On the conscious levels of reality, a lot of problems can be solved or prevented. And there are a lot of great people who do that goodness daily for humanity. What I'm saying is that ultimately we maybe can't. There's just something about it, the flavor, the texture. That satisfaction is indeed scrumptious. There aren't just peaks and depressions. The middle path, too, is so varying in variables. Another reason I'd love to play a villain in a movie. What this idea expands is the spectrum of self exploration, some shades in our beings which we consciously may not endorse, but would love to. Hitting those shades once in a while can't go that wrong. I think so. Some areas of the psyche drink it like water, while the most remains dry. That little part is what is hidden, forbidden, and shy to come out. Still, the tickling hits high, real good, and that's what gives it that thrill. To slap your morality until it's dark red, to conquer vulnerability, to act on impulses, to have great power with no responsibility.